Hello and good morning. My name is Steve Pugh. It's Friday, the 24th of September, 2021. If we don't know each other, but we hopefully kind of do if you're interacting on any of the kind of social platforms. Every Friday morning, I do a live Q&A chat. It's not a chat show, but it's kind of just a live stream where people send me in questions throughout the week to basically help them with their business or career. I have a business course called the Roadmap MBA. It's now in 23 different countries. We've got almost 500 users. And the whole point is that over the course of a 12-month period, which is completely kind of flexible around you, we give you all of the skills, techniques, strategies, everything you need to help grow either your business or career. We do it in a very accessible way so that we cover basically everything you need to know all the way from your aims and goals, articulating them, your personal brand, through to marketing and business strategy and what is it and how do you do it well, and through to sales and basically negotiation, the whole kind of thing. But we do it in a very accessible way where basically you get a 216-page textbook, but also there's lots of live stream classroom kind of sessions that we hold over Zoom. We do this, we do podcasts, we do interviews. And basically the whole point is that no matter where you are in your business or career, you can hopefully get extra value and knowledge from this just to give you a bit more tips and advice and that kind of thing. And although it does come from me, it doesn't necessarily come from me. It's from basically all of the world's best experts on lots of different topics. And then what I've tried to do is really kind of bring them together in a way that I think makes sense, that I've never seen anyone else do before. And that's almost how you can use the world's best sales techniques to actually help improve your personal brand and your marketing and that kind of thing. And the point is it's to make it really accessible for you. So it's accessible both in terms of price and access, but also the language that we use and the way that we kind of make it realistic as well. So for instance, if you ever join any of the live classroom sessions, we walk you through the course and through the textbook, but actually we make sure all the concepts are relevant to you and your business so you can actually help make a real difference quickly, which is quite cool. And then the other thing as well, which is really important, is that a lot of business courses are fixed in terms of their timescale. So if you sign up to a 12-week course and something bad happens, you have a big chunk of work land or something in your personal life, you either miss out or you have to give up, or you just have all this pressure on to try and deal with it. So we give people support for full 12 months. So although you can kind of go through the course quite quick, if you want to take a break and come back or dip in and dip out, that's kind of cool as well. So on this live stream, if you comment, it should pop up on the side. So good morning, Simon, as always. And yes, you can kind of see Simon's comment is there as well. I'd love you to get involved, and we live stream on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and I think a few others. And I'd love you, no matter where you are in the world, to kind of get in touch and say hello. Simon's one of the regulars. One of the things I've also added is that actually, it's about here, it's only really the top 1% of social media users, especially on LinkedIn, actually comment and get involved. So please let me know where in the world you're based. Just a friendly hello always kind of helps. And I also never mind if you really kind of want to plug your business as well, just because it helps, we're all in this together, and it's a great way that for fellow entrepreneurs and stuff, just to raise kind of awareness of who you are. So I'm going to grab my clicker. So in today's session, the 3 things that I'm going to cover is basically how to get new customers, but I'm talking about genuinely new customers, not people that you already know who they are, etc. There's a key distinction there. The second is actually an example which I only saw for the first time last night, but I wanted to bring in because, again, I do this live, so I can kind of do that. And it's basically a bit of a quick blast on how to do great advertising. So it's the guys from Opportunity, so Tim Ward and his team did something which I really loved, which I'm going to talk about. And then another question which I also get asked quite a lot is basically how many hours do I work? Because I balance my day job as a management consultant where I help people grow and turn around their companies and run their marketing for them and do lots of different stuff, as well as all the classroom sessions, the roadmap, building my own business. So actually I just wanted to give an honest kind of feedback on that as well. But one of the things that we love to do on the course is really acknowledge that actually to make a real change, a real impact, it often doesn't happen overnight. Often it does take a little while. So Simon, if you're still watching, I'd love to know what progress have you made this week. For me, there's been a few different things. There's been 2 podcasts, which I'll touch on. I've landed a new client, which is cool. So it's a company that wants to float on the stock market, which is a new project I'm going to kick off and start to talk about soon. And then one of the big ones for me as well, which I spoke about last week, is the YouTube monetization. One of the big things that I found with that is that I've probably got about 700 videos on YouTube, just I've done over the last kind of 10 years. And if you reach over 4,000 watch hours, 1,000 followers, and some other kind of criteria, you get allowed to potentially monetize and have adverts shown on your stream, which means that you get paid to do stuff. But the annoying thing is that I had to go back and basically click every single of the 700 videos to enable monetization, which, it's the first world problem, but it was one of those things that I didn't really expect. I thought it'd be kind of automatic, but still it's a really kind of good process to get involved with. And I love to share my own journey, that as someone that teaches people how to do this, the more you can actually see what I actually do, you can tell if I'm kind of full of shit or not, because you get a lot of people and coaches and whatever that talk the talk, but actually they don't execute. They don't actually evolve their own business or scale their own business or do what they tell other people to do. As we're quite honestly live once a week, actually multiple times a week with the interviews, you do get to see me execute and hopefully get that little bit better each time, which is cool as well. So on Monday, I had the absolute pleasure to speak to a chap called Rob Baker. We talked about something which is all to do with job crafting, and basically this is how, no matter what your business is or what your job is within a business or career, it's a way to kind of tweak it around your hobbies, your passions, to really kind of get more engagement in what you do, but actually how it's been proven that that can actually improve business performance as well. So it was a really kind of great interview. It's available on YouTube if you want to check it out. Next, on Monday coming up this week, a lovely lady called Sumi, and she's the chairperson of it's a community interest company that I'm also involved with called Global Teacher. So what we're going to do is explore Sumi's background and history, and she's a senior vice president for a tech startup as well, and really just talk about the charity, what it is that we're trying to do, and I think that'll be quite cool. So that's going to be on Monday as well. So back to today's session. Please get involved in the comments. I love it when people kind of get involved. Often when I get up every week to do this, often it does take a great amount of effort and consistency and stuff, but I do love it when people get involved in the comments, even just for a casual hello, which is cool as well. Okay, I'm just going to grab a pen. I'm going to go green this week. So one of the big things that people always want to look at in their business or career is, how do we get new customers? People often get promoted or actually build a successful business the more customers they can bring in. More customers, more revenue, more profile, which then can snowball, and it's a really important thing to do. One of the issues that you often have, though, is that people always within the same network, you're only meeting the same people. Does that make sense? So the thing is, on the question of how do you actually meet, how do you meet new customers? So if you ask yourself and you're honest, I'm going to assume that you do some form of business development role, or you're asked to try and find new customers, or you're a freelancer, or you work in sales. If you're a back office finance person, this might not be relevant to you, although it might still be interesting. But if you're brutally honest with you, ask yourself, where do you try and find new customers? Because what often most people do is that they have networking groups that they go to, but it's often the same people every week, and they're kind of just socializing with their friends. Or you're kind of chasing around the same group of customers on your sales list, and you've got a list and you've kind of hit the yellow pages, and you might sell into say machine shops. So basically people that make metal parts with CNC machines and stuff. So you might go onto Google and actually just search for CNC, and basically you build a list, but the truth is you kind of just circle through the same people and the same list all the time, and actually it's quite easy to get stuck where actually you're not really hitting genuinely new people. So I do some sales consultancy for one of my clients, and one of the things that my task is to do is to introduce the business and the brand to completely new people that otherwise might not know it exists. So the existing company operates as it does, and it does very well, and people really like it and that kind of thing. And my job is to help expose new people to it, to just raise. Last week we talked about on the marketing awareness funnel how you want to build awareness of just the brand exists, then consideration that actually they might want to buy it, and then intent to purchase, and then desire, and then actual kind of purchase. But the idea is we're trying to expose your business or brand or whatever to new people. And how do we do that? So one of the best ways that I find is actually to expose yourself to new information. The key bit there is the new and the information. So I am part of different kind of networking groups and stuff like that. And actually one of the ones that I follow is called a marketing meetup. I'm really passionate about marketing. I love everything about it and building customer profiles and that kind of thing we're going to talk about this morning. But what it does is that on YouTube, because I don't often get to watch them live, but I do watch catch up, which obviously people can do with this as well, is catch up on the week's speakers to really kind of find out who's out there, what are interesting topics, what should I know about, and actually just help build my skill set and awareness on different things, which really kind of helps me move forward. But what's really interesting, I'm just going to switch colour pens, is that when you get exposed to new people, and that could be talks or podcasts, what you get to do is actually both discover new people that might be cool. They talk about stuff which might be interesting, might be relevant, but actually you're also getting exposed to new organizations and new customers that you otherwise didn't know exist. So new customers, and organizations. And the reason why this is important is that, just a prime example, and I love to give real examples for actual me, what I do and what I've done this week, was that yesterday I was watching a marketing meetup video from a lady, and she was talking about how she started a new magazine, and the magazine was actually called Freelancer Magazine. And she talked about how the whole process she went through, she did a Kickstarter and how she got the customers and who the magazine's aimed at. And I really kind of realized that through watching the video, for one, I love this lady, she was just really good, and she put her heart on the sleeve to really kind of invest in this thing. But actually her audience is also my audience. It's people that actually might really benefit from having a successful business, knowing what to do, and actually giving people access to business education. But the thing is, I only now discovered Freelancer Magazine and this lady and potentially her whole audience because of exposing myself to new information. So it doesn't matter if you are an astrophysicist or an engineer or a car mechanic or an artist or whichever. Really trying to just find stuff that interests you, especially YouTube is a great way to do it, streaming, podcasts, events, whatever. But the more you can kind of find new information, what that can do is open up your eyes to new opportunities and possibilities that are out there, which then exposes you to new customers and new organizations that actually could be a perfect fit for your business, but you don't currently know they exist. If it doesn't work out and actually, you don't find what you're looking for, worst case, what have you done? You've wasted an hour watching YouTube that you're probably working at the same time anyway. But the point is actually look at how you can find new information, new people, new organizations to really help boost your sales and business development profile. And actually just look for groups, look for interactions, look for stuff on Twitter. And actually it does really work. It does really work. So actually, hopefully that's of use. I'm going to jump to the comments 1 second. Hi, Simon. Good morning, LinkedIn. I can't see who the second viewer was. It just says LinkedIn user on my stream, so I apologize for that. Simon, to be honest, I haven't done much this week. But the thing is, Simon, on your business, I think one of the pressures that people often put on themselves is to try and do too much too quick, if that makes sense. Especially for what is technically like a side hustle, as in many ways this is. There's no real pressure or time scale for you to achieve anything by other than anything that is kind of, self-inflicted. So actually, you still want to make progress because you want to push forward the organization and try and help more people, but actually never feel too guilty or difficult if it takes longer than you think. A lot of the stuff, if you would have asked me for what I'm doing, has taken longer than I thought it would, but I still just keep chipping away, which is the important thing. And on the other question about the iPhone 13 Pro, I should be able to collect it today. And just relating to that, I'm a big techie. I love just tech. Everything from this kind of mouse clicker, which was £12 on Amazon, So MacBooks and streaming and cameras and lighting and whatever. I do love kind of tech. So one of the things that I'm going to start to do, especially now with the YouTube monetization, is actually start to review more tech as well. So I get my, well, I forgot, I've got the 13 Pro 256 gigabyte Sapphire Blue one, hopefully coming today. And I'm going to start reviewing tech as just a different way to diversify my brand. But actually, it's stuff that I love doing anyway. And we're not talking about like Marcus Brownlee level detail stuff, but just, quick reviews, 2 minutes on different stuff just to help people. But actually, I love it, but I can also see how that could hopefully open me up to a much bigger audience. And then people that are interested in tech might be interested in starting their own business. So therefore, if they get engagement with the channel, they might start to follow my stuff and then join the Roadmap course. So there's a reason and a thinking behind doing it. It's not just completely random. But no, thank you for, hi Darren, good morning. Sometimes on the system that I use, it just doesn't show up who the user is, but good morning. If anyone doesn't know Darren works in the, I guess not just the offshore energy industry, but one of my customers. We use Darren's products for when we band stuff together, hence the name. But it's, Darren put a plug in, put a link in for the business. I have no problem at all. But great to have you kind of involved in the stream. Okay. I hope people don't mind it when, obviously, I do this actually live. So it is at 9:15 on a Friday, and it's been a tough week. My voice has just about started to come back, but it's still a little bit hoarse. So hence, I'm not at full strength, but I'm kind of doing my best. I made the commitment to kind of do this. But genuinely, the ability to meet new customers is important for Darren, it's important for Simon, it's important for everyone. That actually, I like to give real examples. So part of the big thing about the course is that when people come on, we talk about stuff, but we talk about it in a real world way, that I get paid to do this for lots of different people, that actually I have a broader range of experience, which is real, actual stuff that I get paid to do today. And it's the stuff that I jump back on after this ends in a way that if you were just taught by a purely academic lecturer or tutor, even if they, were in business 3 years ago, 5 years ago, there's a big difference between, talking about this week and what's happened and stuff as well. And hopefully that's one of the USPs of the course. And it's, I'm a bit scattergun sometimes, but it's just, I prep these things shortly in advance and I do my best and that kind of thing as well. So next, is it going to work? There we go. So last night, I won't lie, I was in bed and I was just scrolling through my LinkedIn and I saw this advert. And it was from Tim Ward, who'd put a post up, and he was at an awards dinner. And blatantly, I think they'd sponsored a category, and as part of the category, I guess they got to put an advert in the program, just in terms of to promote their business, because that's what sponsorships is all about and what you get to do. But it really sparked a real interest in me, because actually what it did do, I'm always looking for content for this, and this again was last night. And it was just the idea of how to create great advertising in a way that you really want to connect with your audience. So what is it that you're actually trying to do? Essentially, with any form of advert or poster or social media post or video or live stream, is gain people's attention to really say, look, for one, for them to even see it. Because if it's too dull or too drab or just looks the same, people will just scroll past. And almost all this time and effort just won't actually land. So it's really important to do. So yeah, you want to, basically be noticed. But what you're really looking to do with great advertising So in great adverts, what you're looking to do is tap into a core customer belief, which actually resonates with the person. So in this example, and honestly, I thought it was brilliant, hence why I wanted to talk about it. What Opportunity could have done was within their advert, just say, we help you access public sector tenders. And that's functionally correct. And actually that is what the business does. And Tim was a guest on the podcast probably about 6 months ago. But what they've done, which is really clever, and I'll read it, is right at the top. And again, it looks like it's been ripped out of a magazine, which is quite cool. It's quite eye-catching. You don't need an MP in your contacts to win government contracts. Now, for anyone that's outside the UK, but to be honest, it's probably true all over the world, there's always an element of, it's funny because people kind of believe it's true regardless of which party is in power or who you vote for. Everyone kind of knows that there's always some press release where a friend of a friend wins a big contract with the public sector. And I know there's a lot of nuance to it, but the point is, in this statement, you don't need an MP in your contacts to win government contracts. It actually hits to a core customer belief, which is so accurate that as soon as I saw it, I actually said to him, look, I'm going to talk about this because I think it's excellent. But again, what you're looking to do is actually do this for your own promotion. For some of my customers, I've got one customer that's a recruitment company who are trying to basically attract attention and stuff, and we're trying to kind of stand out. Well, some of the stuff we do is quite eye-catching to really help the brand stand out, but one of them, it's quite crude, but almost it was done in a better, tasteful way with an asterisk. Stuck in a shit job, question mark, apply today. But the idea is that if someone's on the bus, and they tend to do fairly, well, they do all types of recruitment. One of the things they do is kind of minimum wage factory workers kind of thing. But they are, if you're scrolling on the bus, looking through Facebook, we just wanted something which catches someone's attention that then, either they click forward or do some sort of action, but it's enough that really hits to the core belief of the person that you're trying to target. So the one way to really kind of do that is build a customer profile. So if anyone doesn't know, a customer profile, and again, we teach all of this in Module 7 on the course, is the key demographic and facts and figures and features about who you're targeting. So it could be men 35 to 55 who play golf, who earn over 40 grand a year. But the point is you can really build a demographic about a customer. They have 2 kids, on weekends they play golf and read Golf magazine, and they vote Conservative. The point is you can build a functional profile which helps you target it. But one of the other things which is really important is something called consumer insights. So this is for the customer that you're looking to build a story around and really kind of understand them. What core beliefs do they have that they might not even vocalize, but they kind of believe it's true? Often this can be when people say, I love it when X happens. So for instance, I love it when I order stuff online and it comes quicker than I thought. I love that. I hate it when the DHL man yesterday delivered to the wrong address and then left before I got a chance to kind of, rectify it or collect the package. And what you're looking to do with your audience is really build consumer insights. And again, we touch on it on the course about what's really important. What the guys with opportunity have done is really understand that most of their target audience, who are probably business owners, will have an awareness of the news and just the fact that actually a lot of people believe that government contracts go to people who are well networked within government MPs or ministers. So as soon as you read that, it makes you chuckle, it makes you laugh, you want to read on, it's engagement, it's relevant to what they do. Seize your opportunity, scan here to take you straight to the website for a call to action. Honestly, this is 10 out of 10 in terms of just sheer, social media, headline grabbing, advertising. And it was for a dinner, and it might even be a one-off. But the point was, it was so good that I wanted to talk about it. And then what's also great for Tim is that not only did he get attention, but now other people are talking about the thing that he created. And this is how, if you're really, really, really good at marketing, you can actually create viral campaigns because what you create is so good that people want to talk about it. So I just wanted to kind of touch on this, quickly today. So basically, if you want to create great adverts, great advertising for your business, build your customer profile, which a lot of people do. So actually, who are you targeting, and go as specific as you can. But actually, what are the core held beliefs of these people that actually can you tap into that to really just help get their attention to then take action? And Tim, well done. I know you got a new team on board, but I just thought it was excellent and I wanted to talk about it. Cool. I'm just going to, hi guys on Twitch. I love it actually getting involved because I wasn't sure, being honest, about how, do I stream on Twitch? Do I not? And actually, again, from the Freelance Magazine, example, they did their launch party on Twitch with live DJs and stuff. And my core belief is that there's a lot of people who are on that platform that want to grow their own business, and it could be as a streamer, it could be as a DJ, it could be as anything. And yes, I run the risk because the comments literally come up live here that some people could put swear words up or whatever, but to be honest, we're all kind of grown-ups. But I also have the core belief that that is almost the future. I'm a gamer myself, I play on the Xbox. But I just wanted to try and tap into that, market, I guess, and just, access more people. So great to connect, and I'd love to know whereabouts, you're from. And likewise, if you've ever got any questions or topics that you want me to cover, please just shout and I'll happily do what I can too. Yes, Simon, on the tech reviews and stuff, it's something that I'll enjoy doing. I actually do love the text, but I want to keep it super short. But then actually people might also send me free stuff as well, which is also, it's a major added advantage, which is quite cool. And last but not least, what time are we on? We're on 9:25. I always like to try and do a time check because that's what the professionals do in radio. But actually it also helps keep me on track when I'm just stood here talking for a while. But no, thank you for kind of getting involved. So one of the key examples, actually I'm just going to write this down. So one of the key questions I always get asked, and if we operate in the same kind of network or building or whatever, I won't lie, I do work quite hard. And one of the questions often comes in is that how do I balance running the roadmap stuff, and it's in 23 countries, and doing stuff for customers and creating the content and doing the live streams and the classroom sessions, which is kind of a full-time job, with I have 4 now retained clients as a management consultant that pay me every month that I do a lot of work for. And how do I fit it all in? And the truth is a lot of kind of years of practice to kind of get to that point, but it's a valid question. And then likewise on the 7 a.m. classroom session that we do on Thursday mornings, which again, you're more than welcome to kind of join. One of the chaps on that has been working super hard with his client. He's also a consultant for an engineering firm. And what was quite clear was that actually there's a fine balance between working hard and having it sustainable and actually working yourself to death and almost having a breakdown. And it's really funny because if you want to be as productive as possible, you arguably have to find that tightrope and walk that line as best you can without going too far. So what I wanted to do, without any kind of hyperbole or bigging things up, just talk honestly about the hours that I do, just to give you a feel for the amount of time and effort that goes in. But then likewise, every week I try and document what I'm doing and how it works so that, in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, I can almost look back and see how things have changed and how things have evolved. And even then, it was only yesterday I looked back at the first ever live stream I did from my spare bedroom, where I interviewed a lady called Ashley King. And the quality difference between then and now is massive. But that's only a year. And it's that kind of thing of just, generating cash, reinvesting back in, that I just wanted to give an honest kind of opinion and stuff where I'm at. So, okay, I'm going to start with Mondays. So most days I tend to start at 7:30 and work until 5, probably 5:30 or 6. And actually I do that most days. I tend to take about half an hour for lunch. This office is 4 minutes from my house. I knew, because what I've tried to do is get really efficient with my time, is actually, although I work out, and I'll tell you, the answer, but 50, 60 hours a week, within that time, I'm very efficient. So I actually think that I get probably twice as much done per hour as a lot of people, but actually I don't lose time commuting and a lot of the stuff as well, which kind of would otherwise get in the way. So basically on a Monday, I do 7:30 till 5 or 6, depending. I also used to do all of my own video editing, which I now outsource, which is 2 hours I save through a really great chap called David Winter, edits my podcast videos for me. But the point is, I used to do maybe 7 till 7, and I was really working hard to get the interviews out on the same day, but it wasn't sustainable. And still on Mondays, that's give or take a 10-hour day. On Tuesdays, so Tuesdays is interesting because that's actually my longest day. Again, my standard day is 7:30 till say 6. But then I go home, I eat, I have something to kind of just relax and stuff. But I also do a classroom session on Tuesday nights, which is 8 p.m. UK time, and all the like global times are on the website. But then I come back 7:30 to 9 p.m. So actually, I'm doing a big day on Tuesdays, because in some ways I'm doing 7:30 in the morning till 9:30 at night, which in theory is 14 hours. But actually, I still have a break for lunch and I go home to eat. But basically, that works out to give or take 11 and a half, 12 hours. That's actually my kind of toughest day. I like to run through this because it's the honest answer of how I kind of do it. On Wednesday, I leave the house at 7, travel, get to the client for 8. I tend to then do 8 till 5 at the client. And then I travel home until about 6. And actually, I play basketball on Wednesday night, so that's the one thing it's my kind of exercise gym kind of thing. And basically, so my time on a Wednesday is give or take that, which is my 9 hours. Thursdays. So Thursdays is interesting just because my basketball training doesn't finish till 10 p.m. on a Wednesday, and I tend to go to bed at like 9 o'clock anyway, so that's a late night for me. But then actually start at 7 a.m. But actually, I get in at 6:30 to set up for the 7 a.m. session, because actually we do a live classroom session, and that's aimed for people in the Far East, and basically people in Australia, people in different time zones, so that it doesn't matter where you're based in the world, we've got a classroom session for you. And then in terms of actually making it work, it's for me as the entrepreneur, I guess, to make the sacrifices in terms of how hard I'm working and what I'm doing to really give you what I believe is the best thing I can. So I actually start at 6:30 and tend to work again till 5 or 6, depending on how tired I am. And basically that works out to, again, about 10 hours. It varies, but it's give or take that. And then Friday is about the same, which is about 7:30 till 5 or 6, depends what I'm doing, which is give or take 9 or 10 hours. So that is a pretty full week, and I won't lie, it is tiring. So right now when I do the stream, I'm kind of here. So I'm mostly through the week, and it's been tough and I've been working hard. But the other thing that most people don't often see about entrepreneurs or people that run their own business or is that kind of thing is also on Saturday and Sunday. I do 3 hours on both. So basically, it's not always 3 hours, sometimes it's a lot more. But that's where I'm working on my own personal project. So basically, I always make time for my own stuff on weekends. And basically that adds up to give or take 55, 60, 65 hours a week, which I do on a regular kind of basis. But that doesn't account for a lot of the thinking time. So even when I'm watching Game of Thrones or I'm on the internet or YouTube or whatever, it's always been open to ideas that actually in some ways you're working all the time just because it's your baby, you're trying to do it. But actually just through being a lot more experienced and as you get further through your career, you learn that you can do stuff quicker now than I could say 3-4 years ago. So actually, although this is in total, say 60 hours a week, I think I can probably do 100, 120 hours worth of work of what a more junior person could do, just because I don't have to ask for supervision. I know what I'm doing. But actually, this is how you can get really productive in terms of the business that you run and the amount of clients that you can handle, because what it means is that the more stuff you can do, the more money you can make. The more money you can make, the more you can reinvest back into the business to help accelerate it quicker. And what that allows you to do is build a much bigger business faster. But it is hard work, so I won't lie that this does kind of take my toll on me as, kind of per week. But the thing that I wanted to kind of talk about is that for me, and it's going to be in version 2 of the book, is that you always have to be careful not to burn out. Because essentially, if you have, I'm just going to draw over the top of that. Actually, no, I'll go on a new page. What we're looking to do, just in terms of personal performance, in terms of your business and mindset and stuff, is find something which is a high level, but it's sustainable, that actually you could probably keep doing it forever if you really wanted to. In the example of marathon running, most runners could probably run a 4-minute 30 mile, maybe a 5-minute mile if they really went for it. But they could probably do that for 1 mile and then they're toast. If you want to run 26 miles or 100 miles, if you're David Goggins, you need to find a pace which works for you that you can actually, manage over time. Where I'm kind of at the moment is basically I'm operating beyond that level. So actually I'm probably doing this where actually I'm working really hard, but I'm doing it for a reason, is that the money that I can earn through working hard, it's not sustainable. So basically if this was performance, that's time. Because I'm working really hard, I know that I'm 38 now, I could probably do this for 4 more years, 2 more years, without it massively affecting me. As where when I was in my early 20s, you can actually work harder for longer because you have more energy, but it's not sustainable. But the difference is that when you're working harder, you get paid more, and you get paid more because you do more client work. But the reason why this is important is what I'm essentially trying to do. I'm going to do a different graph. Is that if you look at the investment profile for the business, my dream, and I say this every week, is to try and work 4 days a month. So that's I'll do my streams, I'll do the fun stuff, I might do some tech reviews, I would love to travel, but actually I need to build a business and a brand to a certain point that it's sustainable, it has followers, and it just kind of keeps going. But to do that is expensive and it takes a lot of time. So basically what I'm trying to do is you start off, you go through a hell of a lot of work to try and build the dream and pay for the dream, which is the important thing. But then actually once you have it, the amount of effort you need to sustain it drops off. So for instance, I'm looking to develop a new website and at some point an app that is a hell of a lot of effort to do. I've kind of already wrote the book, so that was a lot of stuff. But again, it's expensive to do. So because I kind of bootstrap my business and develop it myself, I'm working really hard at the moment, but it's only for a certain period of time to pay for everything I'm looking to do, to create the sustainable momentum for the business. And then once I've done that, I'm going to ramp down my customers so I don't have to do such long hours, etc. Because that's the business that I want to build, but actually it's part of my plan. And what I want to do is just talk about how you should always have a conscious awareness that it's absolutely fine to change the amount of effort that you put in. If you're doing a marathon, for instance, your marathon training ramps up, you do the race, but then you can let it go because you've achieved the challenge. For this, if you've got a big goal and you're having to generate cash to get through it, or you've got a really big project, there's absolutely nothing wrong with working really hard to do it. Or arguably, even if you're working above your sustainable limit. But the point is, if you know it's for a short period of time. If you go too much, you could go bonkers and you'll burn out. So basically, performance over time. If you work too hard for too long, you will burn out. You'll have a breakdown. You'll quit your job. You'll lose your job. You'll lose your clients. And actually, it's not healthy. It's not good from a mental health perspective. What you want to do is find a performance where actually you can sustain that for a long time and you're happy with it. For me, that would arguably be a standard 9 to 5. 5 days a week would be a dream. Obviously, what I'm trying to do is get to the point where I work 4 days a month. That's the kind of the joke. But I know that I'm working hard at the moment, but it's just for a certain time period, which then I'm going to change. And what I wanted to do in this segment, because I appreciate it's 9:37, was just give an honest answer of what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. Because a lot of people that you see this all the time, they're in their business or career, they're working really hard, but because nobody ever talks about what they're actually doing and why they're doing it and the mindset behind why they're doing it, I think often people either feel trapped or they worry that they're underperforming or that they see people achieving certain things. But the honest is, if they're only doing 20 hours a week, or if it's a side hustle, 5 hours a week, there's a big difference between someone doing 5 hours a week and what you can achieve, and someone doing the equivalent of 100 hours a week or 60 hours a week, but getting very good at what they do. That's the difference between how fast you can grow a business. And the other variable is you can essentially grow a business much faster if you have more money, because more money allows you to invest in more things and better kit and more advertising and whatever. That actually, in your core business, if you're not really generating too much cash, It might take a lot longer to get where you want to get to, but again, there's so many different variables that I just wanted to kind of talk about this. And because the roadmap is aimed at smaller businesses, basically people under $50 million with up to 250 kind of employees, it's often difficult to learn these kind of things, but also, learn from people that actually do this day in, day out, in a way that, there's no, you don't feel bad. You don't feel bad asking any questions. You can ask stuff kind of anonymously. And then I'll always do my best to give you a genuinely honest answer about what I'm doing, even to the point where I know that at the moment I'm working too hard for it to be sustainable, but there's a reason behind it and what I'm trying to do. And hopefully I will kind of continue to share the journey. So I must admit, I think that was my last kind of topic for today. I really appreciate anyone that's kind of watched any of this. You can watch it all on YouTube, where it all gets kind of saved up. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch. All of these separate things also go onto YouTube as their own video as well. So this one on how many hours do I work will be its own separate video. And that's good for two reasons. One, it helps spread the brand wider. So if someone's just interested in hours of work, they might find it. On the monetization front, the more views I get, the more money I get paid, which is cool as well. But again, within the comment section and the blurb bit on YouTube, with YouTube being the world's second biggest search engine, it's all good SEO, so it all points back to my website. And again, part of the dream is how you build the roadmap, how kind of make everything work together. And again, I like to share my journey, what I'm doing, because you might find ways to do it kind of better. And if you do, please kind of let me know. So my name's Steve. It is 9:40. It's Friday, the 24th of September. I genuinely appreciate people's support and stuff. On Monday, just before I finish, if you do get a chance, basically the interview with Sumi, come on. There we go. I think it'll be a really interesting one, just with what Global Teacher are trying to do to help raise awareness, but almost global education standards and access to information. I'm a trustee of the charity as well, and basically it really aligns to stuff that I'm passionate about as well. And what we're going to do is explore that journey, talk about it, but also explore Sumi's own kind of journey as well. So I'd love it if you join us. My name's Steve. Thank you for your time as always. If you want to find out more about the Roadmap MBA, just check out www.roadmapmba.com. We've got some new stuff coming soon too. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful weekend, and hopefully I'll speak to you soon. All right, cheers guys. Bye-bye.